It's my privilege to be here today to honor service excellence in telecommunications in all three emergency services. National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week is an opportunity to celebrate the important role EMDs, Toronto Fire, and Toronto Police, emergency communicators, play in the healthcare and public safety in Toronto. I'd also like to take the opportunity to congratulate not only the recipients that are here today, but also all the other emergency communicators celebrating this week across the country.
Good morning. It's my privilege to be here today on behalf of Chief Blair and to congratulate everyone. It's my honor this morning to give you an overview of Communications Operator Joanna Jenkins' exemplary behavior and contribution to the safety of our community. On April 3rd, 2013, Communications Operator Joanna Jenkins, badge number 88177, was working in the First Relief, assigned to call-taking duties at position PC 44. At 06:19 hours, CO Jenkins received a 911 call from a distraught young female stating there was blood and that an ambulance was required. During transfer to EMS, the young female hung up. CO Jenkins spoke to the EMS call taker and requested that she be included in the ringback, as the initial information indicated a police response may also be necessary. While EMS was attempting the callback, the young female picked up the line again. At this time, CO Jenkins began asking questions to initiate the response. Event D11037 was created. CO Jenkins took control of the call and was able to identify the address and establish that the caller was just 10 years of age. While CO Jenkins was engaged with the caller, the EMS call taker returned to the line and allowed CO Jenkins to continue to direct the call. Through her knowledge and experience, CO Jenkins was able to obtain the information required for an EMS response, that is, whether the patient was conscious and breathing. During the call, the 10-year-old complainant fluctuated between hysteria and a state of calm. Through effective questioning and her composed manner, CO Jenkins was able to ascertain that the child thought her mummy had killed her daddy. CO Jenkins continued to gently but persistently probe for necessary information, while keeping in mind the safety of the parties and the residents, as well as the attending emergency services personnel. EMS remained on the line and were able to update CO Jenkins when they arrived on scene. Throughout the call, CO Jenkins displayed a great deal of compassion and empathy for the young caller. Her voice was calm and steady, and she spoke plainly and simply so that the child could understand. Even though the child was at times bordering on hysteria, CO Jenkins was able to refocus her attention and continue asking the necessary questions while assuring her that help was on the way. Later that shift, a member from the EMS call center called to compliment the TPS call taker on this event, saying she did an absolutely awesome job. CO Jenkins' actions embodied the TPS core values of respect, reliability, integrity, and teamwork. This call is just one example of the high caliber performance CO Joanna Jenkins routinely delivers. She has been recognized by being selected as Communicator of the Month for April 2013. Her dedication and commitment to communications services and the Toronto Police Service are also being commended, as she has been selected as Communicator of the Year.
It's no secret that emergency services communicators play a vital and sometimes unheralded role in helping to keep our community safe. Communications is at the heart of our response to every emergency we attend. Communicators are the first voice that a person in need hears, and they are the bridge between that person and our teams in the field. During the emergency itself, our communicators provide timely and mission-critical information to our firefighters in the field and hold a key responsibility for keeping those staff safe and informed. Every member of our TFS communications team has done exceptional things this year. The summer floods and the December ice storm required teamwork, tenacity, endurance, strong decision-making, and compassion. And I'm proud to say that all of our staff demonstrated these traits in spades. But I also want to recognize the professionalism and skill demonstrated while assisting with thousands of single, standalone emergencies for which the citizens of Toronto relied upon us for help this year. Perhaps the most enduring and noteworthy work our communicators do is the one-on-one, acutely direct, almost intimate dialogue they conduct with people who may be having the worst few minutes of their lives. Over the past year, TFS communicator Jessica Norquay provided an outstanding example of what it means to be a member of our communications team. Here's some examples. During the ice storm in December, communicator Norquay was responsible for dispatching over 500 calls for things like wires down, people trapped in elevators, burst water pipes, alarm malfunctions, vehicle accidents. The list goes on. During that event, Jessica dispatched over 100 firefighters with 30 fire vehicles during 3 second alarm responses. She dispatched during the evacuation of a senior citizen's home and a firefighter Mayday incident. Incredible. I'm sure that Jessica would be the first to tell you there are many of her peers, her platoon, in fact, her entire division, deserving of recognition for their fine work this past year. Jessica, you are a worthy recipient of this award, and I ask that you accept it not only in recognition of your excellent service, but also as a representative of all of the professional, dedicated, and high-performing members of our communications team. Thank you for the example you set and the manner in which you hold your important place in TFS.
So as we get started, I just want to recognize and thank Major General Richard Romer for being here with us today. Right now, he is working on behalf of all Canadians and the Canadian government to put together plans for the veterans to go over to the 70th anniversary of D-Day. And Major General Romer participated in those D-Day events. It's very near and dear to all Canadians' hearts, but certainly for us to have him here with us is very special. So thank you, sir, for being here. And our good friend, Director Christine Kifsky, and of course, Deputy Fire Chief Darryl Reed. And we have the entire leadership team here on behalf of Fire. Thank you guys very much. And, our friends in police, as well as my own team here in EMS. And of course, our family and our friends. We really appreciate the support of our families. We always say that EMS is a family, and we have our own, crazy uncle, and we have our arguments and those types of things. But without the support of our family, we would not be able to be successful as we are today. So we're celebrating our communicators, and certainly in EMS, our emergency medical dispatchers, but on behalf of all 3 services, we're celebrating really the first responders, the people that are there and start providing assistance long before the police officers, the paramedics, or the firefighters can arrive to help the people who, as Darryl had pointed out, are probably having the worst day of their lives. And it's really important for us to celebrate the communicators because quite often you do not receive the recognition that you deserve. So before we get into talking about Norman, who we're very proud of, I think we need to just give all of you a big round of applause for the work that you do every single day. So we're going to talk a little bit about Norman Rivera, who, again, we're extremely proud of. And Norm's got a lot of support, not only from the leadership team here, but from his colleagues. And we're not going to pick one particular event to talk about. We've selected Norm as the EMD of the year, the Communicator of the Year, and he's absolutely well deserving of that. And while I go through this, Norm, why don't you come on up here and we'll give you your award. So Norm's worked for the City of Toronto since 1997 and as an emergency medical dispatcher since 2006. He's an advanced EMD and a communication training officer. So the training officer piece really means that he demonstrates excellence very, very regularly, and he imparts that excellence onto his colleagues. We didn't pick one particular call because Norm's basically done it all. He was certainly involved in the G20, put in many, many long hours in things like the Toronto ice storm. He worked both on the Sunrise propane explosion as well as the explosion that happened at 2 Seacourt Avenue. And something that I'm sure he's very proud of, and we're proud of, delivered some babies over the phone. And in terms of helping mom deliver those babies, in one particular incident, the parents were so impressed that they called us up and asked if they could have the audio recording of the interaction at the time. So you can imagine the great work that he's doing in all of those situations. Norm, we know you exemplify all the characteristics of a successful EMD. He's always calm under pressure, has a thorough understanding of his role with 911 callers, but also with the paramedics and the teammates that he helps every single day. He provides that calm and relaxed environment. His trainees tell us that Norm provides that environment where they can learn in pressured situations. So those compliments are really high praise when it comes from your colleagues. So Norm, on behalf of Toronto EMS and myself personally, congratulations for your outstanding contribution, and please accept this award on behalf of the City of Toronto.
In any event, communication is really, that was primitive, and you're doing the same thing, you people who are doing so well. But you're doing it every day, all day, and in really difficult circumstances. Now, a week ago, in Collingwood, I'm at home, and I'm rushing around. Mary's getting her hair done. And so I got back to the house and got into the fridge, pulled out a piece of chicken breast, started to eat it. Stuck. Here. Stuck. I'm all by myself, and I can barely do anything. Mario had been there, she'd have done a good Heimlich on me, but she wasn't there. So after several telephone calls, and I'm really in somewhat distress. And I got her at the hairdresser, and she said, call 911. 911? For God's sake, I'm going to call 911. Who, me? I did. Well, it was a short time. 2 vehicles arrived. One is the EMS vehicle, and I'd given the guys in their medals. I give all the medals, by the way, at EMS events every year, 100 or so each time. The people in the EMS van were there, and they took really good care of me. There came the fire truck. The fire truck's right there, and there's the deputy chief, and I'm able to speak just enough. But I had beautiful service from the organization of which I am the honorary chief, and the services that I am the honorary chief, and wherever I go, I have good service. I can tell you that because of communication. Communication is just wonderful.